Nice little bit of action on the market at the moment. Today, we celebrate 1% moves, baby. It's been a while since we've seen a 1% move from the market to the upside. So we celebrate the small wins. Maybe that get out of bed song is possibly working in our favor. But guys, we're going to quickly speak about, the current move that's happening at the moment. We are getting a little breakout from Bitcoin. But the interesting thing that we're getting is what we spoke about yesterday was Ethereum. Seeing Ethereum start to move pretty quick to the upside. We spoke about looking at all the major indicators on the weekly chart in Ethereum, that there can be a massive explosion. And why this excites us is because it actually plays a big role within the dominance. For the last couple of months, we haven't had much major altcoins move to the upside. And it's because the dominance has been fully in favor of Bitcoin whenever the markets get bullish. So what we really want to see over here is we would love Big Daddy of altcoins, ETH, to wake up and to help us to finally get the rest of the altcoins to move whenever Bitcoin gets bullish. I think it's that time now. It's been many months of altcoins sitting flat, and it would be nice to finally get that move. And as you can see over here, we are getting a nice little downside. As soon as there was a little spike from Bitcoin, there was a nice little drop in dominance. We're going to be speaking about this and to see that maybe there is going to be a nice drop in dominance, and it may be for a couple of weeks. And then what we're going to speak about in the show is we're going to speak about, is it going to be Uptober or is it going to be Wrecktober? Stats show that it's very interesting that 20% moves happen within October. We're going to be speaking about, is this to the upside? Are we going to see a $30,000 plus Bitcoin in that area, or are we going to see a 20K Bitcoin? I have something amazing to show you guys about how you actually figure this out and how you're going to prepare your portfolio for this massive move. So again, it's a 1% move in Bitcoin. It's a 1% move in Ethereum. We've got to be positive. Let's play the bullish anthem, and hopefully the bull market may begin. Let's hit it.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Banter fam, hope you're having a fantastic day. Pop in the chat. Are we going up or down in October? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Are we going up or down? Pop in the chat right now. What are you thinking at the moment? And again, pop your altcoins. I'm going to be going through a lot of your guys' altcoins to see where you guys are at. If you need any help, maybe charting them or seeing what's happening next on those tokens, I'll give my views. Again, I'm not taking all of those trades. I still in my Solana and my Doge positions. So I'll show you guys over here. There we go. I still have my Sol and I still have my Doge positions in play at the moment. And as well as my $200,000 position on Doge as well, which I'm hoping to get into mega profits really soon, especially if we can have this continuation to the upside. So this is more or less sitting around 1 or 2% down from my initial entry. So again, I'm going to run these in the background for the next couple of weeks, and let's see how these play out. And then we also have, the BitGate competition coming up. I'm going to be trading with small portfolios over there. And I think it's about, lots of altcoin calls, lots of alpha, lots of information, plus education. We're going to bring it all together. But for now, let's quickly jump in. So two things quickly. Make sure you do have Banter Bubbles. Go download it in your app store. Again, markets move like this. You want to see what's the quickest moving tokens. And you can see we've had a little push with up in Bitcoin. So what's moving at the moment? Obviously, Chainlink being one of the big ones. It's nice to see Solana move. I would like that one to pump really hard so we can make a lot of money. We have Bitcoin Cash. We have Rollbit. We've got Aptos. Few different tokens. So this is a great tool to be using, especially when the markets are moving. And it highlights, which ones to focus on, especially as traders. You're trading for money. You're not really trading for the love of the token. And you got to remember that, this emotional attachment, a bear market teaches you, don't be too emotionally attached. Always put yourself first and make money. Once you make money, then you can worry about, personal attachments and falling in love. Super important to understand. And then remember to go below and sign in for crypto school. So we have a link below. This will give you, I did another Live event last night went absolutely incredible. Every single tool that you need to prep yourself for the markets. We teach you the sideways, the up, the down markets, how to make money, and everything that you need to know. So go below and register for Sniper School. Okay, let's jump in. So guys, a few days back, we spoke about the two major support zones on Bitcoin, which was the 26,400. And then what happened is we started to slightly lose that. And we said, okay, maybe there is a trap incoming. And the only way that would be in play was we actually make a green candle on that daily candle over there. And why that would have happened was because a lot of people would have bought over here and they would have popped their stop losses slightly low. So price goes down, stops out a bunch of long traders, and then reverses and starts to make its way up. But what you've got to understand is daily stochastic now reaching down to the bottom. We know that the weekly stochastic has just taken off from the bottom. And what tends to usually happen with these weekly stochastic RSIs is they tend to start off a little bit slow. You know, you get a little bit of flatness, and then they tend to start to speed up. And we can see that many times. Goes slow and then starts to speed up. And ultimately, the last time that happened, you know, Bitcoin was over here. And the big signs we wanted to pay attention to that time was the RSI made its way down, and we wanted to see a few things. We wanted to see a strong reversal weekly candle over there. Tick number one. You want to see a break of trend. When that happens, you start to see a volume spike incoming as well, because you'll see your volume at the bottom will be tapering down, and all of a sudden it breaks trend, you get the spike in volume. So you want to see that the move is actually real. And when they tend to be real is when you have volume behind it. So if we look at where we're at now, the first thing we want to see was where did we bounce? We did end up having a nice little possible double bottom, making two of the similar lows, which can be a very bullish play. Secondly, what we had was RSI at the bottom. Started to taper slowly up. And then we did have this nice little reversal candle over here, this green one. And it tended to go a little bit sideways after, but you know, that could have been the nice little possible reversal. Now, we do know that the next push on the upside is going to be an important one to indicate, you know, is that the final time to offload and things like that. But that could take a couple of weeks to play out. And we're going to be speaking about, you know, October and what that means for October. But for now, let's quickly update a few of the shorter time frame tokens and what we're looking at on this current move that's happening right now. So there was a small little trend, and you can see I had this trend line in play. And now Bitcoin started to break it through. Now, the only big thing is it does have a very critical resistance at the moment, which is this 26,500. And that was previous a level of support. So you got to remember that anything that was a previous level, if price came down and held a level and then broke it, you know, that's going to be sort of the area of where they're going to keep trying to hold it. So anytime you go up there, they're going to keep trying to reject it. And any previous level, you know, this is how they're going to keep winning the game all the way to the possible downside. So right now, what we're facing is this critical resistance over here. If we turn that into support again, that's good. You know, we look at the next major resistance that comes after that. So that's why it's important now on this current little move that's happening on Bitcoin right now, you know, is to get past that 26,500. And this is where a lot of short-term shorters are going to be shorting at the moment, and therefore putting their stop losses over there. So we get through this range, you should see another speed up to the next major resistance zone. So where is that next major resistance? Is that important 27,000? Now that 27,000 is the major trend line. So what I'm paying attention to today is I want to see a continuation. Apparently there's like some news events happening today. Yeah, 𝗟𝗂𝗟𝗍𝗍. Oh. I think Powell speaks. Powell also speaks. Okay. So let's see how these things affect the markets. But nonetheless, if we want to continue this move over here, right now your support is the previous low. And we want to get through these levels. I would see a squeeze to 27. And then there's a bigger squeeze. And we'll get to that shortly. Now, let's quickly pay attention to what tokens are moving. And I want to speak about the one from yesterday, which is Ethereum. I think we do a nice, strong Ethereum pump. We spoke about the few indicators we're paying attention to on the weekly. The first one was we do have the RSI dragging at the bottom. And when something drags at the bottom, you could see basically price comes down, you know, has a few sideways candles over here and starts to accelerate really quickly. So the same thing happened over here. Price came down pretty hard and then started to trend sideways. And this for me, again, looking at those candles on the weekly, there's a little bit of exhaustion coming from the bears over there. The guys that are trying to get price down, a little bit of exhaustion from them. So what tends to happen is all of a sudden you tend to have this big candle that just absorbs it really, really, really quickly to the upside. And it's the same thing that happened over here. Price came down. The bears got it pretty strong. Then what you saw over here was this fight of sideways, whereas the wicks up, down, up, down, up, down. And the bears ended up getting tired. And when they started to get tired and run out of liquidity, it was very easy for the bulls to move price. So it's a very similar tactic that both teams will use at any moment of tiring down at an important level. And we saw that over here where the bulls got tired out and therefore the bears could attack pretty quickly. And you're going to see it reversely as well. So right now we have the RSI down at the bottom. And there was a few other indicators as well that we were looking at. Firstly was 618. You know, when it comes to a very high time frame bounce area, you know, this could be a very strong bounce area within Ethereum. Plus on the trend line. Again, RSI down, and now we have the short-term trend line. And what it's showing is there's a mega squeeze that could income for ETH. And that level's around the 1700 zone. This is this little area over here, and I'll zoom in slightly. So what we want to pay attention to again on this little move at the moment to see the continuation push from ETH is to get above this high over here, which is 1700. And this is the same area of where they're going to try hold the shorts. They're going to try hold the level. You know, the bears are going to try control here. And if we get through here, there should be a nice little strong squeeze to the upside. And there's a few levels of where these squeezes can happen. Now I'm going to show you them quickly. The first one is here. The next one is here. Let's just mark it out. There we go. And the next one is there. These are something called acceleration zones. So if price gets through here, it can accelerate quickly there. If it gets through there, it can accelerate quickly there. These are all areas of where the opposition is going to try short it. Therefore, tons of short orders and tons of stop losses. And stop losses mean buy-in orders. So ultimately, they get stopped out. They don't want to lose too much ETH, so it buys back in, and that's what starts to extend that price over there. So for now, what I want to see on this move is you want to jump onto the daily chart or the 4-hour chart, and you want to pop this trend in over here, and you can see we're right at resistance right now. If we daily close outside of there, this should be a strong push up on from ETH. And again, I think that this could be ETH entries that we could hold for a while. And I'll be speaking again about how big I think this could be in October. So let's jump to a few other tokens quickly and go through them. One that's obviously moving fast, breaking another flag over here is Chainlink. So Chainlink, again, is on its way to the upside. And if it repeats itself, you know, this could be a continuation run to the areas of $8 to $10. So I don't think it's entries now, but I think if you've got strong entries, we now know that the best accumulating area for Chainlink is around the $5 to $6 area. Every time we've been there, we've always seen massive gains. And you could actually trade this for a while. And so far, it's looking the exact same. It's looking pretty strong. So no buys for me there at the moment, but definitely looking good. Then what I have, I still have all my teaching from last night, sniper school. Then what I have over here is DOGE. Okay. Now, guys, I want to bring this up for a second because I want you to pay attention to when to actually look to build an ultimate trade. An ultimate trade actually is built when there's a strong reversal pattern. And the higher time frame you can get that pattern, you know, is when it becomes incredibly strong. So it's these ones over here that I want you to pay attention to. These are ones that you want to start a position. And then when the position starts to play out, let's say your trade starts to go into success, these are this is the patterns that you use to add to those actual trades. So I want you to pay attention to this pattern over here, which is a very important one. And I want to jump back over here and I want to show you the Doge chart. So what you see over there is you see a big push to the downside, and you had the bears winning at that time. And then you tend to see the sideways. Any market that moves, when it comes to the downside, you want to see a slowdown. And a slowdown means two things. Either a continuation or it means a reversal. But what you're going to tend to understand is sideways is the best time to either be building a trade or preparing for an actual trade. You want to be catching this nice and early because this could either, again, be continuation or a reversal, but always tends to be the best. And I'll actually show you a quick scenario over here on Bitcoin and jumping back to the higher time frames and actually going back to the bull run. And you could see over here, let's jump to the daily. Let me just show you this in play because it's very important to understand. Let me get rid of this over here, and let's quickly go back to a little bit of history because remember, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does definitely rhyme. So I want to show you over here. This is the perfect example over here. Look how price came down, and then all of a sudden, remember, the bears were winning. Then they start to lose a little bit of steam, and you can see over here how they start to lose steam. And then what you want to see is exactly that. And you can see the pattern play out perfectly over here, where we've come down, we trend for a while, and as quick as we came down is as quick as we tend to go up. You know, this is called exhaustion. It's called preparation for the next major move. Now, remember, it can either be this move or this one. And look how all of a sudden we cracked the top over here, and look what it created. It Okay, so you want to pay attention to the moves that are happening there at the moment. Now let's go back to Doge, and I want to show you here. This is why I have such a big position on Doge, because I've seen this play before. Firstly, when it comes to the weekly, we understand we are right at the bottom range of support when it comes to Doge. You know, this is literally the bottom support that we've been there many times. And ultimately, this looks like a zone that's pretty protected. And why I'm saying that is because there's been many times that we've come to the zone and all of a sudden a tweet comes out or something bullish happens on Doge and we get a bounce. And this is very clear for me that this is a big accumulating area within the area. So when it comes to the very high time frame, I was interested. But then jumping to the smaller time frames now, I'm now starting to see the possible reversal pattern. And this is where I'm looking to make my money. Firstly, I see this downside over here, and there's two things, right? Either it's going to be, and let's mark this up over here, either it's going to be a continuation, meaning that this comes down over here, trends for a while, boom, you know, to the downside, or it's the reversal, where we come down, we trend here, and as fast as we went down is as quick as we go up. Okay, so the way you track that now, and this is why I still think if we do have a breakout from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and dominance to the downside, that we can see a massive move within Doge. And you can see this over here. There's the pattern in play over there at the moment. So you can see it's been trending. And because it's been trending now, I'm paying attention to over here. So I still think there's time for Doge. And I think as we creep up over here, the main goal is if we go bullish on Doge, we want to be in before this trend break starts because that's when the acceleration will start to the upside. So pay attention to this trend line over here. Again, I always like building positions into the trend lines because I know it can get rejected, yes, so I can tighten up stops, but I also know I can be in before the chaos starts. And you can see over here, small sideways. Look how quickly, you know, it quickly pumps to the upside. And you can prepare. So I still think Doge is one of the best ones. Not a massive mover right now. But I think as we get through that trend, you know, then you're going to start to see the quick acceleration. And remember, any tokens that you trade in crypto is for the sake of trading the coin that you understand. That's it. If you understand the trade, you take it. You know how to protect yourself. You know how to make the money. Next one that's looking pretty good is Injective. We spoke about the buys over here, guys, 2-3 days back. Bounced beautifully there, is breaking the trend line, starting to move up. We'll actually bring Dill in over here to give us a few quick updates. So Injective is looking good. A lot of these tokens over here. 𝗬𝗃, pay attention to 𝗬𝗃. Here's a bullish pattern here. If markets go green, looks like 𝗬𝗃 is going to break a nice little possible trend over there. We have XRP. This one's slowly creeping up. So there's a little play of what I was showing the guys in school last night, but it's the same thing. There's a big possible reversal coming over here for XRP, and you want to pay attention to this trend line over here at the moment. Let's go through a few more quickly. We have Matic right at the bottom of the zone. I think it's a great accumulating higher time frame. Not massive trend breaks now. There we go. Phantom. Look at this, guys. Like crypto's at resistance now on the shorter time frame. Breaks this, quick acceleration, BNB. That one we spoke about yesterday, starting to print some green, looking pretty good. Dill, what you got there, bro? Before I jump into the next alpha.
I've got a nice 𝗬𝗃 chart as well. I'm glad you brought that up. I see the curve 𝗬𝗃 situation seems to have resolved itself. If you've heard a bit of the news there, they were talking about on the research call this morning, and 𝗬𝗃 dropped into this 382 area so beautifully, and it's reacted so nicely now. So I panic bought a long in this zone. I'm looking for now. I want to see this trend break, obviously, and go. But yeah, I grabbed it down here in this region. My stop's under that 382. I'm making an assumption now that this BTC break's going to hold. So that's my play on 𝗬𝗃. I was waiting on, I just want to give you guys an example. Like you mentioned Injective now. This is one of the greatest examples of how the 618 has come into play for us while we've been waiting. And there's a few more like this. Like we had SXP as well. Check out that 618. Look at that reaction of the 618 down here. So I was waiting for a 618 reaction on Render, which I still hope we're going to get. Look how nicely it's sitting down here on this trend line for us. If we get here, I think we can go in quite hard there. And then I was waiting for another 618 reaction. Where was it? GRT potentially down here, lower down. And then I've also got a 618 I'm waiting for here on Fetch, which could also be a nice entry for us. So guys, it might be a late bloomer. You know, if the market rips now, we might not see it. But the plan for me here on something like Fetch and Render, I'm waiting for the 618 to come into play for some longs. If it does turn earlier, guys, then we're just going to play that trend. we're going to have to just play that trend game. We'll be a little bit late for the move. But ideally, I want to try and grab some fetch down there in this area.
Looks like there's a lot of altcoin squeezes. So I'm bringing up like here on near at the moment. Like if we get through these resistances now, there's like some big squeezes to the upside that can happen on these altcoins. And it's quite interesting to see if that dominance is going to continue, because if we break this daily trend here, this could be an easy squeeze up to these areas over here.
I see Darren likes near.
Near. No. And there's it there, guys. So again, obviously, as an investment, it's been terrible, but as trading, it's incredible. So I do think let's give it some time to see over the next few months of how it recovers. But I think when it comes to trades and making money, this is exactly what you want to see out of many different tokens. We even have a few updates from yesterday. Gala just tapping out there. If this thing just breaks that trend, it's showing a few more days though. Let's see over here. There's the trend. A few more days. Coming. Be patient for that one.
There's an alarm on the Discord on that exact trend you've just drawn, guys. So in the Banter Discord,
amazing.
You'll get your alarm if you VIP on the Banter Discord, guys. You'll get that alarm.
So a lot of them are just creeping up to these resistances. They're literally just creeping up. And this might be an opportunity for dominance to come down and actually have a nice little strong break within all altcoins. And I think hopefully ETH can continue that. I actually want to have a look at ETH dominance. There we go, creeping up at the moment. Come on, ETH, drop this dominance. I actually want to show here. So here's my dominance. Say again.
Look at this AVAX, bro. I got stopped out last
night. Did you? Just quickly here, guys. Look at this. Look at the significance of where the Bitcoin dominance is at. Long ass trend since we started the uptrend within this year, and we at support now. So it's either going to be a massive rampage within Bitcoin, and it tends to be Bitcoin really pumps hard. That could happen, or this is going to happen. And we're finally going to get a little bit of love within the altcoins. What else you got there, Dole? And then I'm going to jump into the Uptober or Rectober.
So this is this AVAX. I mean, my target's still in play. Look at this. Are we allowed to swear? Look at this wick. Bro, are you still there?
Oh,
I put a stop.
Sorry.
I went to bed last night, I put a stop down because I didn't want to get absolutely rinsed if things turned on me. And this wick came and stopped me out over there. And now AVAX is like, as you were back back to the target. So guys, if you're still in AVAX, it's looking good. That the first target is this 9.2 level. I'm no longer in it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's running nicely. We had optimism from yesterday as well. We had that trend break. We are now getting a reaction at resistance. So again, we got to watch where BTC is at resistance now. We got to watch this resistance area. If you are long on optimism from lower down, you're good. I would be cautious longing into this resistance now. So rather just let it play out a little bit. You can look at a trend, something like that. Otherwise, you want to maybe let it break up and create support here at this resistance zone. So you might want to see something like a little pop up there, then let it come back. Then you can load up for that ride there. So right now, optimism is at resistance. So if you missed it yesterday, you are a little bit late here. Do you like the look of this? It's looking like it's
pretty good. I'm trying to find the daily breaks, to be honest. I'm trying to find like a long ass, daily trends that I can get and hold, to be honest. That's why I'm loading up like pretty big bags at the moment, because I think we're going to get to a point where money can be made a little bit easier, just by getting these good entries. We've had to work our asses off. We can't deny that the last 2 months have been nearly impossible to get entries within this market and not getting shaken out. But eventually it's going to return. Money returns. It's like I'm not going to say it's exactly like it, but it's like a casino. At times a lot of people are going to lose, and at times they have to give money back, and that's how it works, right? There's going to be a stage where
part of the game,
it's time for people to make money. You know what I mean? And then that's the thing. And it's like, it's been really hard to make over the last few weeks. And it's going to be the stage of making money again. What else are you seeing there, brother?
Yeah, this is Atom. It's also turned a little bit early, but now we're getting a lot of this sort of double bottom looking things here. I wanted Atom a little bit lower. I wanted the 618, but the way we're going to play this now is we want to see it break up here. I want to see support. Then we can play this trend. But right now, this is resistance. So if you miss the boat now, just hang on there for a sec. Bigger picture, I'm sure we can look at a bigger picture on Atom. I'm sure there is time. Obviously, we can play this trend. We can play the big stuff. Let's see what we got.
Come on, Bitcoin. Pump, bro. We need a mega pump. We need a god candle. Give us a
There's
god
time.
candle.
There's still time. So guys, if you're missing some of these alts like Phantom, Atom, these sort of things, there is time to the main trend. So you can let it play out, up, down, up, down. Let's get to that big trend. That's where the big move is going to come anyway, later on. So, you know, right now we're playing the up down game on these 4-hour charts. Hopefully this momentum just continues now with BTC.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much, guys. Dill's got his show just now, so go on Banter Plus.
3 hours. I wanted to show you guys this 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 indicator I've been playing with, and it helps.
And then up next, guys, I'm going to go into the October and Rectober. Pop in the chats. We have dropped a poll. Up or down October. Okay, go for it, Dill.
So I mean, I have a unique, well, not unique. I have my regular charting style where I'm using fibs, trend lines, and things like that. And sometimes if I'm looking for confluence, I dive into this 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So I had SXP pumping up from the 618 earlier into a resistance zone. This was 382 trend and horizontal. And I wanted to see if there was confluence that it was going to reject on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So I zoomed into the 1 hour, and you can just well, they've got various functions. They've got things like order blocks, you can see here, that shows you support and resistance zones. And then they've got this oscillator thing that prints a sell or a buy signal for you. So
wow,
in this rejection zone, yeah, it printed the short. So that was the signal that it was about to reverse. So yeah, still playing around with it a lot. We've got Simon, the indicator guy that sits with us on the live trading as well, that he's pretty good at it. But yeah, I think the link for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is in the description here, guys, if you want to play around with it. Definitely helps my game.
Yeah, guys, go below if you want 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. You also got the free one, which is called Smart Money Concepts, that you can load on your indicators. Guys, it's just stuff to help you back test your information too. If you got a few things telling you I must buy here, and the indicators are also indicating there, you know, it's a nice way to double check yourself. So you can go below and check out what they do.
It's not a slam dunk every time. We use it for confluence. So, you know, if my system is telling me something, then, and I just want to make sure, then I see what 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is saying. And if it agrees with me, then we know. Then we know we're on. Balance of probability.
Exactly. Thank you, my brother. Much love. Guys, go watch Dill's show, Banter Plus. It's in 3 hours from now. Okay, let's jump into the October Rectober. Okay, so guys, if you have a look over here, October, 8 out of 10 times, 8 out of the last 10 years have actually been green. So if we look at the times before that, it did indicate that September was going to be red and August was going to be majority, you know, possibly red. Those two have played out pretty similar at the moment. And then what's quite interesting is history. When history comes within Bitcoin, we've actually had, you know, pretty decent months in October. So stat-wise, you know, just looking at simple history, it is showing the possibility of a nice green month. And it's actually quite a high probability, and it's the same thing, you know, if we go to the areas of you know, possibly a green November, and maybe it's actually showing a little bit of a red December over here. So I want to give you guys a few things over here. Go watch this thing with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He's agreeing with me that there's still a big rally coming within crypto this year. Go watch it. I just wanted to bring this up over here. The teams watch it. I met Scott. I love him very much. But go have a look at this. It's on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on his Twitter. Go watch it over here. This is you know, 53 minutes, but go watch it out and get his inputs. And then what's important here, and we're going to jump through quickly to Ethereum over here as well, is Ethereum balance on centralized exchanges reached all-time low in September. Okay, so what this basically means is not much happening on the actual exchanges, right? This is taking out of exchanges. So basically meaning what, into wallets, right? This is bullish. You know, at the end of the day, it comes down to I'm not selling, I'm not keeping the exchange, I'm putting it on the actual wallets and keeping it nice and safe. So this is interesting. When you do see these things over here, it tends to be, you'll see how the market reacts after this. But again, with the stage that we are at the moment, is money is moving from weak hands into strong investors. And the thing is, with strong investors, they have a lot of money, so they take time to accumulate the tokens. So when you're depressed like this and you're losing interest, they're just grabbing up a little bit until we're ready and they've loaded up, and then the market starts to move. So again, this is nice, strong, bullish news within the market. First time we have an 80-20 split. Roughly 80% of Bitcoin supply is now held with investors who have held for 6 months or longer. If it is not clear right now through the bear market, if it's not clear right now of how well, you know, this market is programmed, of how they make you lose interest and they just swallow up, 80% are now investors holding for 6 months and longer. They are scooping this up under your eyes every single damn day, every single dip. They are loading up. So again, bullishness over here. If you still survived and you're still here, this is quite interesting. So this was the S&P yesterday. A lot of companies, 500 companies over here. And look at the redness. Now, this is interesting because just before I jump into the actual stats, and I got a lot to show you guys, it's interesting how we're starting to get a massive red stock market. And let's actually quickly go through that for a second. First thing that we want to pay attention to at the moment is a rampage in 𝗕𝗬𝗓𝗍. So 𝗕𝗬𝗓 flying at the moment and just smashed the resistance. So this doesn't look like it's going to stop at the moment. And this is obviously pretty bad when it comes within stock markets, which is interesting, right? Then we jump over here and the 10-year yield smashed all-time highs. Was it all-time highs? It is all-time highs. These areas, let's see if it is all-time highs. Not just for a while. Not for a while. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. Okay. So the last time we were at this area was 2007. Ooh, quite interesting. It looks like that might actually rampage back to those higher levels over there. So for me, loving, crypto and stuff like that, I do know when this is going up, not good within the markets. And we can see it very clearly within the stock market at the moment. This has lost trend and starting to accelerate to the downside. Now, what's quite interesting is in 2023, this year, whenever this market's been coming down, Bitcoin's actually been going up, which is very interesting. And right now, this doesn't look like it's going to slow down. I think the stock markets are going to continue to pull down for a while. And who knows how bad this could actually possibly get. We do have a few little areas of maybe here as a bounce zone, which is indicating 5-6% down from where we are now. We do have over here, a nice little, 8% drop. And then we obviously have the big move over here, which is like a 15% drop. These are your next support levels. So we're going to pay attention to this. But it's quite interesting to see that if we look at the daily and we look at where we're at over there and we look at here, starting to see the, maybe it's our time to shine. Super interesting to see that over there. Then let's jump in over here. One more quick thing as well that we just want to announce with you guys. I know this has been spoken by a few hosts, but leaked documents reveal Microsoft's plan to bring in crypto wallets to Xbox. Gaming, guys, gaming. Watch Hustle Show. Don't fall asleep on gaming. If this comes right, it means PlayStation and Sony will be doing the exact same thing. Competitors will be doing it. And it makes sense. It makes sense that you can load crypto wallets within gaming. And this will be massive, guys. You have millions and millions and millions of users of gaming. Probably one of the biggest industries in the world. And this will be big. So again, so many deals all happening behind your back when the market is dead and not much is actually happening. How's our poll look? 75% are saying bullish. Okay, let's jump into that, guys. So I want to show you guys a few things quickly. And the first thing I want to show you guys is like when the market goes flat, what it actually means. Okay, what it actually means. I spoke to you guys previously about the understanding of, sideways is when the preparation starts to play. And I actually want to show you this. Look at this. Look how all of a sudden these areas of Bitcoin, remember that massive dump that happened within the FTX crash? We ended up going sideways from November all the way to the areas of January. And look how we ended up having that amount of accumulation. Look how all of a sudden when the move played out, the length of the accumulation gave us the exact result that is in play over there. Okay, now you got two different ways of the sideways. You either have a slanted version of it. This is why we say this is bullish patterns, or you have the flat version. But I want to show you guys that every time we do have accumulation result, we do have accumulation result. And you can see over here, accumulation result, and you can go all the way back and you can see accumulation result. And you can see this all the way back of how this basically plays out beautifully. There we go. Accumulation result, accumulation result. Okay. Now I want to take you back over here and I want to show you the next thing. I want to show you where you're at and I want to show you why I think there's a 20 to 30% move coming from Bitcoin in October. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you over here is I want to go back to the areas of May. And you can see over here, we accumulated for a good period of time. And what you could see as well, which was super interesting, was to see the tapering down in volume. Okay, so what tends to happen is the market makes a big move, tends to go sideways and tends to dry out liquidity. So you start to have volumes start to taper down, taper down, taper down, taper down. Venture gets to a point where there's no interest, not much is happening, accumulation has happened at that time, and all of a sudden a break of trend and a volume spike, and all of a sudden you have a massive move that comes out of nowhere. Then it has a slow trending to the upside, little move there. Then what happened over here? Same thing, accumulating. Look how all of a sudden you had the big initial move that happened. Sideways started, like really dead, quiet sideways started over here, tapering down within volume. All of a sudden, lost support, boom, massive volume spike. Now you look at where we're at right now. And this is very interesting now because we've been going sideways. The first thing I want you to pay attention to is look at the range that we've been going sideways. Now, you have it when it goes really flat and you have a range that plays out. What I've noticed with the charts is if you look at the bigger ranges, and I'll actually show you this one over here as an example, okay? Look at this. Big range, big range. Look how big the results were. Look at this one over here. Massive range that happened over here. Look how massive the result is. So I have noticed that the width of the range does play a big role. But where we're at the moment is we've been ranging fully sideways, making similar highs, similar lows, and we are accumulating for another massive move. And then what you see as well is if you look at volume over here, look at that tapering down over there, and we are right at the end. Very similar to what we saw over here. We are very near the end, and it's basically indicating either next 2-3 days or right in the beginning of October, we're going to have a massive volume spike. Okay. Now, if I look at the size of this accumulation over here, you could see this one very near what the result was. Very near what the result was. This gives us an understanding of a move of up to at least $30,000 to $32,000 to the upside. And this gives us the possibility of a $20,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so firstly, we're going to jump back up here and say, okay, probabilities right now, 51%, stat-wise, history-wise, if that means anything or not, bullish, okay? But if you look at the chart-wise, it's basically saying, we can either have a 20K or a 32K Bitcoin in October, which is super important. This means a massive volume spike, massive squeeze, and it means that this little accumulation that's here has a purpose. This has a full purpose. And what's very interesting about this as well is this has been probably the most uninterested the market's probably ever been for a very long time. Very long time. This is probably going to be back to 2018, 2019 levels. Like this, I've seen views drop. I've seen everything drop to the max in these periods over here. And right now, we all, the best influencers in the world are making videos about BitBoy. That's what crypto has gone to. The best influencers in the world are making videos on BitBoy, and they're killing it. So that's how I know we were definitely at a very interesting stage. So now what we want to do is we want to jump in, and I want to speak about the actual Bitcoin chart and what this means over here. It's very simple, guys. It's very simple that there's a mega move incoming, and this accumulation is a preparation for the move. Now, again, we have the trend line on the top over here, and we have the 27,500. This is the area for me. If price holds this support here, gets through that trend line, very likely we can see a 32K. If not, maybe even slightly higher within October. Okay, we have enough accumulation to get that result. So a lot of people are saying, oh, how can that happen? We've gone sideways enough. And I think I've shown you guys, and I want you to go back to your own charts and see that if a coin goes sideways for a very long period, it creates the results. And I actually want to show you one more time over here quickly before I jump back over there. Let's actually go to the weekly here. And I want to remind you guys, I hope it's got data. Let's see. Data. There we go. Okay. Look at this. If you take this period over here, this is how long. This is sideways from Bitcoin, right? Look at that. Okay. So you had a long period of accumulation from Bitcoin. Take this. Very, very, very similar to the exact result of what created. So you're going to start to learn that sideways is actually brilliant, right? You take this here, swing it through, boom. Look how very near and how it actually works out beautifully. So these sideways here, over here, side created that result. Side creates the result. And you start to see that. So if we go back over here to the chart over here, we've gone sideways enough for at least a $6,000 to $7,000 Bitcoin move at any single direction. So again, right now what we've held, support is still in play, and we still have a possible bullish scenario that can play out. 100%. We are still holding support. We have not made a lower low, and we've actually made a bullish double bottom. But what we do have to see is we know the weekly stochastic RSI is at the bottom, and we need to start seeing the progress. And where I'm expecting is probably a little slow grind. There'll be a nice push if we get through this 26.5 to 27. And then we got to get through that 27.5, and there'll be a really strong shoot to these areas of 30. And then obviously we can go to the higher points. Then it's the same thing to the downside. 25K is super important on the daily, on the weekly close, because that is indicating the last line of support. This is the last line of where there is liquidity at the moment. And I saw with Annie as well showing the charts that this is an important zone. And below that, guys, is you got to take the very simple thing of this accumulation over here. What result does that mean? Is the exact same thing, 20% to the downside, indicating this liquidity pool over here. Now, we just spoke about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. If you put your 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as well, it's showing that there's leftover liquidity here. And what the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 indicator actually does for you is it shows you where there's leftover liquidity that what the whales left behind, or the big accumulators left behind. So price moved too fast. So they be patient. They want the lower points of view. So there definitely is interest here. But this is the last line of support. Otherwise, there is a scenario of a $20,000 Bitcoin. And again, we have the accumulation that can get us there perfectly. So we are literally at a point where in the next few days, we are going to either break this trend over here, or we are going to break this support over here. We have volume tapering down perfectly over here. And you can even see it on the smaller time frames, tapering down over here. Either one that we break through, I'm definitely looking at a 20 to 25% move to the up or the downside. I see 75% of the Banter audience say it's to the upside, which I do tend to slightly agree with, but we do know I tend to be very bullish. I love the market when it's bullish, and that's truly where I make a lot of cash. But it is very interesting to see where everyone's at. So bulls active today. So again, smaller time frames, let's get past. Let's take little step by little step. Let's get past $26,500 when it comes to Bitcoin. On the shorter time frame, then it's 27.5. If that happens and Ethereum explodes, expect a dominance pullback, and you might get a nice, strong altcoin catch up. My two favorites still at the moment are Solana and Doge. These are my bigger positions that I have built up in that time. Let's see what other ones we have over here. So guys, let's just see. A lot of guys speaking about Solana. Ain't no bulls, ain't no bears. Show him late. What's up? What's up? What's up? Jordan, what's up? What's up? What's up? I see 20K in my safe. Amazing. Be prepared if that does happen. Descending triangle is actually bullish. Descending triangle is definitely bullish. Sold to infinity and beyond. Amazing. I don't see too many coins here, guys. Okay, have a fantastic day. I'll be back tomorrow.